good.
Got involved with Mondesir I want to say 2015. Plus, when he first kind of had the dream about it, he went to me and told me about it, and I was all for it. So
I got involved. I got put on my 2015. I was living at the Commons too. Clesso slept over that night. We were just talking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, dreamcasting, talking about the impossible, dreaming the impossible, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Do you want to be the vice president of Mondesir Hope?"
I'm October 2015. So I met Abe when I was a freshman in college. He just asked me to come to a meeting. I had no idea what it was going to be like or anything like that. Showed up, met everyone else, and was like, okay, this is a nonprofit that obviously needs some help, like more on the administrative side of things. And he asked me if I wanted to help a little bit more.
I first got involved in Mondesir, I want to say about a year ago. I started just helping out with different events like Saturday sandwiches, just helping wherever I was needed. From there, I kind of just got involved more in the core team from there.
It was lit. I'm Haitian, from Haitian descent, and it was my first time going to Haiti. It was really cool to just first and foremost like see the country, like where my culture's from. It was really cool being there with just this whole different group of people. I really got to see what like a team is. Like you have like people of different like backgrounds and character. Everybody has like a different niche, like a different thing that they bring to the table. You know, that's the point of a team.
The trip before, I was very nervous. Clesso had been to Haiti, so he's talking about it, and I'm like, oh, it sounds great, but I'm kind of nervous. Did not have all the details planned out, things like that. And once we got there, we were like, we're fine. Like, we have a great place to stay, great people that are with us, great translators, everything like that, and completely changed my view of our team in Haiti.
Went pretty well. It was everything kind of that I expected it to be. It was really good. I just learned a lot about the Haitian culture, which that was my first time going to Haiti. Experiencing and building relationships was my favorite part, just building the relationships with the people that we're working with. What we're trying to accomplish is not just things on paper, it's people's lives that we're trying to transform.
I've never been on a mission trip before, like especially in another country, so a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety before I went out there, but just being there and knowing that I can do it is like really great. So
I'm used to leading a lot, you know. I'm used to leading a lot ever since I was young. But this was a different step into leadership before. Like, never have I ever brought people into a whole different country, like where they're not from. To be honest, I truly didn't know what to expect. So there was a lot of connections I had in Haiti. I just tried to tap into those connections. It was a lot of like just faith jumping. And Hannah did not like it at all. She was really mad at me, but it wasn't more so me, but it was just really all of us coming together and like, how can we make this work? It was a team thing.
So before we went to Haiti, we had all kinds of things we wanted to do. We want to build a school, a clinic, an agricultural center, a church. There were so many different little things that we wanted to do. We didn't have a super clear idea of exactly what the village we were serving needed at the time. And as we were walking around the village getting the tour, they took us to their school, which you wouldn't have known was a school just by walking by. Oh my gosh, this is so run down. They put huge amounts of kids in there to learn, and it's just not a good environment. They need a building where they can learn and they can be successful and just enjoy their time there.
So this trip was kind of an informal trip. It was a very small trip. We went there for a week and a half, and all we did, like I said, was build relationships. We built relationships with an orphanage in Port-au-Prince, and then we built relationships in the village in Catalan, where we're building a clinic. And so we were just building relationships for the future. When we go there, we're not strangers. We're family coming in and helping them.
there we stayed in Port-au-Prince for a few days. Kind of just went to an orphanage there and kind of loved on the kids, taught them Bible stories, that kind of thing, just played with them, just got to connect with the orphanage there and the guy who ran it. We stayed there for a few days and then took 5-hour, 6-hour trip out to the village. Finally got to the village and the kids there were, at first some of them were a little standoffish, maybe the first 10 minutes, but then they all came up to our house and started playing with us, and me and Hannah started making them bracelets, and they all were like, oh, I want one, I want one, I want one. And so that was really cool. So once we got there and started like loving on the kids, they opened right up to us, and it was awesome.
I would say one thing that really stuck to me was I was able to watch like a lot of the way a lot of these kids were interacting with, you know, me, Abe, Lindsay. One thing I think everybody was pretty astonished by was like the relationship between Abe and this one girl in the village, that like they were just like instantly like there was like homies. Like it's like they were best friends. Like they'd only known each other for a few days. It was I think 2 days before we were about to leave, or 3 days before we were about to leave. So we were on our way back to Port-au-Prince, and like Abe, like, you know, we were kind of in a rush because we had to get stuff to do. Like we were like, all right, we gotta go. And Abe was with the little girl, and like she just did not want to leave. Like we literally like walked her back to her house. She just was bawling out, crying. And like all of us in that moment was just like, this is like heartbreak. Like Abe was here for only like 5 days, like whatever days, and was able to make like an impact just by being intentional and loving on her. I don't know, it's just like just that short amount of time, like all he really had to do was just be intentional with her, and he was able to make an impact.
The kids were so sweet. Most of them, I would think, had never really seen a white person. They run up, and I was the one, they would always play with my hair because it was down a lot of the time, and they absolutely just loved playing with my hair. But I distinctly remember Ecleso had brought Lindsay and I to these girls who were about our age, and they were sitting there doing laundry, and we sit down and we're doing it, and the girls are just smiling at us and everything like that. We had Sika with us, and she was translating what the girls were saying. And then out runs this little girl with her grandma, and the little girl started crying because she had never seen white people. And me and Lindsay were like, oh my gosh, we don't know how to react to this. Like, do we hold her? Do we touch her? Like, we're just not sure. So I think for me, I realized like through those kids, Lindsay and I especially, being the two white people that had gone over there, had such a huge role to play in gaining their trust and loving them just wherever they were, and just acting as if we were normal family to them and no different.
One of the most memorable things I've had on this trip, and it's gonna sound kind of weird, but it was when we were all sitting in a circle and everybody was just grilling me about the things I need to work on. I think a lot of times when you're just been placed in a lot of like leadership roles, sometimes you think, man, you got everything all together. You're not that great. You are special, but you're not that great, and you need to improve. But it's just out of love, and they want to see you do better. They want to see you succeed, and that was honestly one of the things I loved the most. How like every time we met, like we were just honest with each other. We were truthful with each other, and we were just like, man, how can we do better?
I'll say impact. To start, impact is something that is a stamp you put on someone's life. It's a stamp that you put on someone that lasts them a lifetime, and something that will really just affect the way they just operate life. You think about kids with insecurities or kids with these different mental, things that they're going through. If you're able to like show love to them, make them feel more secure in who they are, but also like point them to God, like that is an impact.
When I think of impact, I think of the ways that I've been impacted, which have been through people that have seen me at my absolute worst, that have seen me at my absolute best, and continue to invest in me and pour into me, and just have a willingness to sit there and be like, this is what you need. Like, this is who God says he is. This is who God is, in your life right now. This is the things that I need you to learn. These are the things that you need to be better at. So when it came to the impact in Haiti, it was, we want to teach you how to use your resources, because it's not only us impacting you, it's you impacting the future of Catalan and your children and their children, and teaching you how to be good stewards of the things that the Lord has provided you.
I think what we did well was show them that we cared about them as a person, not a statistic. It goes back to how Christ loves. Everyone is the same. No matter who you are, no matter what race, color, creed, we're all the same in the eyes of God. And that's how we treated the kids in Haiti. And so I feel like they took so much more out of that.
I would say impact to me is, when I think impact, I think people. Impacting people's lives in any way that you can, whether, through any kind of thing, whether it's helping someone, whether it's lending an ear to someone who needs an ear, whether it's, going in and helping with the clinic, whether it's, giving them food kind of thing, like just impacting their daily lives so that, they can be a better person, and like that kind of rubs off on you, and like you in return are a better person for that.
What the word impact means to me, the first thing that comes to my mind is long suffering. It's a long standing thing. It's a ripple effect that doesn't just start with the first person it hits, but it continually goes. Mondesir Hope, its mission continually goes. And not just inspires one person, but it's a movement that changes lives.